Longtime followers will remember my earlier alerts about the rising dangers to independent journalism and digital creators. Though these warnings might have once sounded like hyperbole, they are firmly grounded in historical patterns. Fascism radically alters the information environment by repurposing the press as a weapon of total state control. These regimes utilize intense censorship and sweeping propaganda to stifle dissent, malign critics, and foster a cult of personality around a single ruler. Historically, such administrations secured monopolies over all forms of communication, including film, radio, and print, frequently eliminating any platform that offered a competing narrative. A stark example of this occurred in Nazi Germany, where 75% of newspapers were forcibly shut down as journalists were coerced into serving as state mouthpieces. By converting the press into an instrument of absolute state authority, fascism reshapes the media landscape through rigorous censorship and pervasive propaganda designed to suppress opposition, vilify detractors, and cult worship a singular powerful leader. These regimes established monopolies over film, radio, and print, frequently shuttering dissenting platforms entirely, as seen in Germany, where 75% of newspapers were closed, forcing journalists to act as agents of the state. Propaganda serves as a fundamental instrument in such regimes, where media is leveraged to emphasize emotional triggers and cultivate hero worship of leaders such as Mussolini. This strategy aims to mobilize the populace towards specific political objectives and a sense of national unity. The survival of the independent press is at stake. Historically, regimes have dismantled opposition journalism by incarcerating reporters, installing loyalists in their place, or coercing the media to function as an extension of the state. The media may function as a tool for sanitizing governmental agendas, identifying scapegoats, and validating extremist or violent conduct through manipulation and vilification. A prominent illustration is the manner in which Fox News has aligned with conservative objectives, framing even the most atrocious policies. Historically, some international media outlets originally treated fascist leaders with neutral or positive coverage, often viewing them as a bulwark against communism, which allowed these leaders to solidify their power before fully restricting the press. The objective of fascist media regulation is to dismantle any rival perspectives, establishing an entirely singular information landscape that exclusively promotes the regime's beliefs. Now, at this point, you may be asking, where am I going with this? President Donald Trump issued the National Security Presidential Memorandum, NSPM-7, titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, on September 25, 2025. This directive effectively labels activists and civil society nonprofits as part of an expanding enemy within, placing them alongside scientists, legal professionals, and academics whom the president classifies as political adversaries. For those dedicated to protecting the Constitution and civil liberties, being targeted in this manner serves as a badge of honor. The language of NSPM-7 is deeply unsettling, illustrating how easily terms like political violence and terrorism can be manipulated for ideological or racial bias. This memorandum follows previous efforts, such as the investigation into the Open Society Foundations and the attempted designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist group, serving as a calculated move to intimidate and silence critics. While the precise legal implications of and implementation of the memo remain uncertain, it is essential to analyze its intended goals and inherent limitations. Despite these attempts at fear-mongering, the true strength of the nation resides in a resilient civil society and communities that continue to pursue democracy and equality. We must remain steadfast and refuse to be intimidated. While the memorandum's exact execution remains unpredictable and specific legal guidance for affected parties is unavailable, it is possible to outline the directive's scope, objectives, and inherent restrictions. Here is how NSPM-7 is expected to affect content creators. The broad definitions established in the memo create a significant chilling effect on political discourse. Content creators are particularly vulnerable to increased scrutiny, especially those who address topics such as immigration, gender, or race, or who advocate for progressive platforms. Under these expansive guidelines, such individuals face the risk of being unfairly categorized as supporters of radicalization or domestic terrorism. Digital activism is now under scrutiny by explicitly naming anti-American and anti-fascist views as drivers of terroristic violence. The directive aims to suppress perspectives that conflict with the administration's priorities. Consequently, individuals involved in online advocacy may be subject to pre-crime investigations intended to preemptively detect potential violence. There are now signs of escalated online content regulation. Under the established framework from the memo, the administration is using their influence to exert pressure on social media companies to broaden their moderation policies, resulting in the removal or suppression of speech categorized as domestic terrorism. Such a shift could significantly restrict the scope of political expression permitted under digital platforms. The directive's emphasis on entities and networks may lead to heightened surveillance and investigations of independent journalists and media creators. This is particularly concerning for those who document protests or share content deemed anti-government, as they could become targets of monitoring. The Treasury Department has received instructions to monitor illicit funding streams linked to groups involved in political violence. Consequently, advocacy creators and independent journalists who even passively receive foreign funding or work with international partners may be investigated for money laundering or potential violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, specifically if their content falls afoul of the administration's narrative. Another disturbing measure that may become prevalent is targeting content creators with operations linked to doxing and swatting. The Attorney General is explicitly directed by the memorandum to prioritize investigation of organized doxing campaigns, swatting, rioting, and civil disorder. This focus creates a mechanism for targeting creators who engage in leaking the distribution of private data or certain forms of activism categorized under these labels. Timothy Snyder, a prominent American historian and public intellectual specializing in 20th century Eastern European history, the Holocaust, and modern authoritarianism, once said, "Fascism says what you and I experience as facts or what reporters experience as facts are irrelevant. All that matters are impressions and emotions, and myths." Defeating an anti-media administration requires a multifaceted approach, centered on protecting the freedom of the press through litigation and championing media literacy. To circumvent state censorship, it is vital to utilize secure, decentralized technologies and provide robust support for independent journalism. Furthermore, restoring public confidence in credible information requires commitment to fact-checking disinformation, advocating for government transparency, and bolstering civil society. That's all for this week. Until next time, remember, silence is compliance. Your voice is vital. Stand up, speak out, strike back. They don't know what they started. If you appreciate this content, please like, share, and subscribe. For updates, ring the bell. Your support truly helps the channel.